Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the actual brake light. If your brake light does come on, there's a couple certain things that you're gonna have to check, and you can check them in this sequence or out of sequence or whatever. Sometimes if you just check them in a certain sequence, you'll find the problem sooner, but the sequence is not important. It is the understanding of why your brake light pops on that is going to help you diagnose, troubleshoot, and identify exactly what the problem is. And once you identify what the problem is, you can solve the problem. With any brake light, the first thing that I do is I identify where the reservoir is at and I check it out. Most cars have a sensor that tells you your fluid is low. And when your fluid is low, you can either top it off and it'll make that sensor go away. But if you know your fluid is low, there's only two problems that can be associated to this. One, you're losing fluid because you have a break in one of the lines, or there's a break in the system that is actually making that fluid go down. Or two, your brake pads are low enough that the pistons all over around the vehicle are expanding a lot more, bringing that fluid down, and is telling you you need new brake pads. Most definitely, it's usually brakes. It's not a break in the system, but a lot of times you will get a break in the system, and it's time to fix that brake because definitely you need to slow down the car when you're going 60 miles per hour. So my brake pads weren't low enough to actually be causing this light. In this case, this brake light is actually a break in the system. That's pretty rare to happen on most vehicles because it takes a lot to actually damage one of your brake lines. But since I was checking out the vehicle and then I was pressing the brake pedal itself, the brake pedal fell all the way through, causing that actual fluid just to shoot out, and I filled it. And just by pressing the brake pedal, when you have a severe brake leak, your reservoir will empty out within seconds. So all I did was put a rag on top of the brake line that I was suspecting that had to do with the actual brake. I'm not able to see the brake because the brake is on the back side of it. But once I put the rag over it and it didn't spray all over the actual frame, I was able to isolate this one line and I'm able to see it and actually just concentrate more on there. And I'm gonna find it, and it's a matter of time before I run my hand over and over through it before I actually see the brake in there. And I do see it, and it's right behind this one section. But it does take time in order for you to troubleshoot it. The brake light got me to this portion where I knew it was either the brake pads or a break in one of the lines or part of the system that was actually losing brake fluid. But there we go. That's exactly when I found it. And my eyes would deceive me because the line looks perfect until I'm able to roll that line over. And you can see right there, that's where the actual brake line. So that's my problem. I got to definitely replace this line with a new one and actually refill the reservoir and tighten everything down. But with this little small break right there, lose everything on the reservoir, and without any brakes at 60 miles per hour, I'll be another accident on I-5. So with that being said, I'm definitely going to get to it and replace that. And I hope this was helpful for anybody that's actually troubleshooting. There's a couple things that you can definitely look for. There's a lot of lights out there. So if you're familiar with your brake light, you'll be able to troubleshoot a little bit further.